OpenAI promises an AI researcher by 2028 and superintelligence within a decade. Google's DeepMind AI just built a better learning algorithm. Gemini moves into your home. Elon Musk tackles telecom with a satellite phone for everyone, and a few thoughts on what this might all mean for the future of AI. Welcome to #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. In a rare look at its long-term plans, OpenAI has laid out a roadmap that goes far beyond chatbots. CEO Sam Altman said the company expects to build a legitimate AI researcher by 2028, a system capable of making scientific discoveries on its own. Altman said that by 2026, OpenAI hopes to have an intern-level research assistant, and 2 years later, something closer to a real scientist. The company said it could spend up to $25 billion on research benefiting humankind, with a focus on breakthroughs in science and medicine. It's an unusually detailed announcement for OpenAI, which has tended to unveil flashy products rather than long-term plans. But it also comes as the company shifts from its nonprofit roots to a for-profit structure, reportedly heading towards a $1 trillion valuation. This raises the question, is this altruism or just really great PR? Altman also predicted that superintelligence, AI smarter than humans, could emerge within 10 years. Some observers, I'm one of them, think that the timeline might have been pushed out a bit, perhaps to avoid spooking the public. Because as OpenAI becomes a profit-driven powerhouse, public enthusiasm for regulation and safety could start to build. So this Halloween, maybe the real ghost story is about the machine that could outthink us, and the company racing to make that happen. Not to be outdone, Google's DeepMind dropped its own bombshell in a publication in Nature. An AI agent called DiscoRL has discovered the most powerful reinforcement learning algorithm ever, and it did it without human help. The system learned by running generations of agents through simulated worlds, letting them play, fail, and evolve. Over time, it invented entirely new learning rules, outperforming human-designed algorithms like MuZero and Dreamer on the classic Atari benchmarks. It didn't stop there. The AI generalized to games and environments it had never seen before, performing at a human level or better, and doing it faster and more efficiently. DeepMind's researchers said this could mark the point where AI stops using our methods and starts creating its own. That's a scientific breakthrough, and it's a little bit eerie, because once machines can design the rules of how they learn, we're not just teaching them anymore. We're giving them the power to teach themselves. Closer to home and a little more mundane, but still powerful, Google previewed a new Gemini for Home voice assistant this week, a kind of Google Home 2.0 built around its multimodal AI. The system connects home devices and Android phones, keeping context as you move from screen to speaker to camera. Unlike the old Google Assistant, Gemini can reason across video, voice, and sensor input, spotting what's in your fridge, suggesting a recipe, or reminding what you said you'd cook last week. This is all still early, but Google says Gemini will learn routines naturally, which sounds a lot like what OpenAI is trying to do with memory and agents. One researcher called it a living AI interface, not just a smart speaker, but a persistent digital presence in your home. And in space news with down-to-earth implications, Elon Musk's SpaceX is building direct-to-phone services that could reshape global telecom. Under a $17 billion deal to buy wireless spectrum from EchoStar, SpaceX can now use those frequencies to let ordinary 4G and 5G phones connect directly to Starlink satellites, no SIM cards, no roaming, no special equipment. The company said it will first eliminate mobile dead zones, but later deliver basic text, voice, and eventually data anywhere with a clear sky. SpaceX President Gwynne Shotwell called it the next generation of Starlink, while Musk described it as a single global network that just works anywhere. Early trials suggest the phones can switch to cheaper 4G networks when available and use satellite links only when needed, and it's a key step to solving the cost problem that has slowed Starlink's growth in Africa and other emerging markets. If this all works, SpaceX will control every layer of mobile delivery from orbit, challenging telecom giants like AT&T and Vodafone, and bringing us closer to a world where your phone never loses signal, even in the middle of the Sahara. Now, a number of these stories, OpenAI's researcher, DeepMind's self-learning agent, and even Google's new Gemini, point to a larger trend: AI that learns and adapts on its own. Up until now, adding new knowledge to an AI meant retraining the whole model, a delicate process that risked something called catastrophic forgetting, where new data wipes out what the AI already knows. But that's changing. OpenAI has started experimenting with controlled forgetting, and DeepMind's AI can now invent entirely new learning rules. The goal is self-improvement without having to retrain, a path that futurists like Ray Kurzweil have predicted, and the authors Eliezer Yudkowsky and Nate Soares of If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies have warned about. It's fascinating, it's promising, and yes, it's a little spooky. And that's our show. If you like what we're doing, please share the podcast. Give us a like or comment on your favorite app. Visit technewsday.ca or .com. And if you're watching on YouTube, drop a comment under the video. Maybe give us a subscription or a like, a treat, not a trick. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a fantastic and spooktacular Friday.